Like, welcome to another episode of How I Came to the Truth.
Thank you, brother.
Got my man Judah in the building today. Welcome, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man. So how you doing, man? Everything good?
Yeah, I'm alive, so everything's great.
Okay, that's what's up, man. That's always a good thing, right?
For sure.
Absolutely, man. Well, let's just kind of take it back to the beginning, man. Where you originally from?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. How you like it?
Well, I loved it. I loved it because that's all I knew.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Until I moved. And I saw other places and
Right.
other things, and you know.
Right. Well, I think everybody said the same thing. Well, at least for me, I said the same thing because I ain't really know no better until I left.
Right.
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 Jacksonville. So I feel that at least y'all had a football team, though.
Oh, you didn't have one at that time.
No, we didn't have none.
Yeah. Okay.
Not. I mean, we ain't getting until I was, later in my teens.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But coming up, we had to cheer for other teams, other cities. Y'all always had a team.
Yeah, we had football. We had baseball. Well, we had football, baseball. We had basketball,
Mhm.
but actually, the Lakers basically came out of Cincinnati.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, they was
Wow.
the Cincinnati Royals. Then they moved to Milwaukee, and then Milwaukee moved to LA.
Yeah, so it's kind of like when you, I guess in a sense, when you have cities like that got all of them, that's a pretty thriving city.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Yeah, it's a pretty thriving city. So how was it coming up in Cincinnati, man?
It was good and bad. You know,
Mhm.
it was like everywhere else. You know, trying to make it, being black, trying to make it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Racist. This is racist, just like supposedly the South. It's no different.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was just talking to somebody about that. Being up in Cincinnati. Now Cincinnati is on the border right there between Kentucky.
Yeah,
Like,
right at the
right
line.
at Kentucky, right?
Right at the line.
Yeah,
Right at the line.
so you really ain't escaping it too much.
It's actually Kentucky is the South,
Mhm.
and Cincinnati is actually where Harriet Tubman was supposed to take the slaves. You were free when you got to Cincinnati.
Really?
Yeah, you were free when
Wow.
you got. That was part of the Underground Railroad.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So once you got over to Cincinnati, you was so-called free.
Oh, okay. So, well, speaking of that, did you have family originally from the South, or?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you did?
My mother's from Alabama. My father's from Texas.
Oh, so it's a lot of the migration.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Did they tell you anything about that?
I don't really know too much about my father's
Mhm.
family. I know about my father, but not his family. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? But my mother, I've seen Alabama. I've seen country living.
Right.
I've seen country living.
Right. Because the word, man. A lot of people, left the South
Mm-hmm.
to try to get a better life.
Yeah, better. New start, better life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it wasn't really that much better, was
It's
it?
all the same.
It seemed, as a matter of fact, probably when you get to Cincinnati, that's when it started kind of looking like Philly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's where it kind of started looking, where it's looking like it's kind of, crowded. You might start running it into a little bit of the houses that are close together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Real condensed.
In the inner city, the houses are close together, but they're kind of big, depending on what neighborhood you go to. They're kind of real big, huge houses, but they knock them down and they make 2 families, 3 families out of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it just depends.
Right.
Like in certain neighborhoods, the houses are still big and one family lives in them, but
Right.
the majority of the time they cut it up, make 2 or 3 families out of it. We got a lot of those.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, like I said, it seemed like it may start right there, because Kentucky is Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like it's country, and it is country. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nowhere, probably Louisville, that may have a little bit of city like
Lexington is a
to
little
it.
something.
Lexington too?
Yeah, Lexington is.
Well, they had the Derby in Louisville.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So since you from Cincinnati, man, did you kind of see the change when the crack era came?
Yeah, I saw the change.
How was it then, man? Because I'm almost positive, it was a whole lot better than what it is.
Well, let me say it like this. I don't know if I saw the change
Uh-huh.
because, you know, I was part of that change. It was
Right.
just what I knew coming up. You know,
Mhm.
it was just, that was just life.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the best way I can say it. That was just a normal life. You know what I'm saying, at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I didn't really know anything better because, you know, I'm 50, so we talking about 88, I was like 15, 16 years old.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so
Right.
you know, I really don't know anything but that, being so young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know how it was before, like in the 70s, because I was just born. You know.
Right. Right. Well, I guess I'm saying. I guess it's more so like the question is more so pointed toward like I remember when it first hit. Right. Everything was cool. Everything was cool before this.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as family, it was good. You know, I guess wholesome and stuff like that. But man, when that crack came, man, I remember seeing some dudes up the street, man. They had it was like a crew of them had Suzuki Jeeps.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You remember them Suzukis, man? And then then one day we was at the park. We was 12.
Mm-hmm.
The park we go to all the time, bro. Man, we went to the park one day. We playing basketball. We look off in the cut, man. Like it's about 300 yards, about 100 to 300 yards away. And we looking, man, and we see like this brown lump in the grass, look like a log. So we said, well, let's go over there and look and see what that is, man. And it was a butt naked woman, dead, bro. And she had blew up, bro. Like her body blew up from being in the heat. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, I think I was 12 years old, so it had to be like around 1988. And that's when I was like, man, what in the world? Like, it's right up the street from me, you know what I'm saying? And then like friends were getting killed, family members getting killed, man.
Yeah.
You know,
when you go into that part, like the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I understand the question now.
Yeah.
Life changed and people changed, and you see people one way this year, and next year they don't look the same. You know what I'm saying? People put out their house. You know. Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff like that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it definitely had an effect on us, man.
It did.
You know, definitely had an effect, man. So you got a brother and a sister, right?
Yes.
You the oldest?
Yes. No, I'm the youngest. I'm the baby.
Oh, you the baby?
Yeah, I'm the baby.
So was that a good thing or a bad thing?
It was a good thing for me. I grew up like the only child because my brother is 14 years older than me, and my sister is older than that. So I kind of grew up the only child.
Oh, okay. So you somewhat spoiled a little bit?
Yeah. Let people tell it.
So did you come from like the typical family? You know what we're kind of accustomed to as far as like, you know, growing up in the church and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Sure did.
Okay. So were you one of those families that frequented church like all the time? Because I see, you know, you was involved in church activities, right?
Mm-hmm.
So was it like that? Were you that family where it was every time the doors open, you there?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, yes. It's like Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. That was, but it was all day Sunday, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday night, you know, I want to be doing something else, and I had to go to church. And then Wednesday, I had to go to Bible study. And you know, my mother was real heavy in the Sunday church, real heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think some of those attributes from being in the church kind of helped, or did it hurt?
I'm gonna say it helped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it helped. Not the teachings, of course, but as far as being instilled that there's a God. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Something that I knew it was something out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, felt that there was something out there. You know, and then I was in the choir. I was in the junior choir, the junior usher, all kind of stuff. That
Man, we could have grew up together.
Yeah, I grew up in Pentecost. What is it? Pentecostal Apostolic.
Yes. Yeah. Wow.
Up until I was 16.
Wow. So wait a minute. What happened at 16?
Oh man, once I can drive, it was over with.
Really?
Really.
How you pull that off? I mean, you still at the house, right?
Yeah.
So how you pull that off? How you pull off not going to church?
my mother moved from one church to another church.
Mm-hmm.
So I slicked and said I wanted to keep going to this church because my friends were there.
Oh. So you was just like dipping anyway.
I was gone. I was gone. I mean, Sunday church, it was the same. I saw a lot of stuff in church that wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of things going on in the Sunday church, just like the street. It was just like the street to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It was the fakest people that I ever met was in the Sunday church. Let me put it that way.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I kind of just said, man, nah. You know what I'm saying? But I still held on to knowing that there was a God. You know what I'm saying? I still held on to that. But as far as the people, nah.
So you knew that at that age?
At 16? Oh yeah.
You must have saw some things.
Oh yeah.
You did?
I did. I did.
Like what?
I did. Like the pastor and doing things he shouldn't be doing, and his daughter doing things she shouldn't be doing, and just different people in the church doing a lot of stuff they shouldn't have been doing. You know what I'm saying? So
it's like a social club, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like a big social club. People come to see their girlfriend at church or their boyfriend at church. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women just coming to see the preacher. And it was a matter of fact, I think I even saw him dressing a certain way as a kid. Like, why she dressed like that? You know what I'm saying? Walking to church late so she could be noticed and all that. So I feel that, man.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, in your teenage years, how was life at that time? Or how were you in your teenage years? Because now you, I guess in a sense, may not be going to church as much. And then at this age of 16, you also starting to embark on manhood somewhat. So how was it at that time?
It was pretty so-called good. It was good for me, I was doing things I shouldn't have been doing, making money and stuff like that. But, I thought everything was fine. I really enjoyed my life growing up.
Right.
I really enjoyed my life.
That's
what I'm saying, at that time.
Right. Right.
I gotta make sure.
I'm saying because you was pulling away from the church, right? So what were you starting to veer toward then?
Everything else but the church. Just just coming up 16, 17. Typical thing. Girls, money, just typical
What
stuff.
was your mom saying at that time?
She was still on the church thing, but I was doing my own thing. It really wasn't too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So did you eventually just stop dealing with it, period?
Oh yeah, when I was 16, I was done.
Whoa.
Yeah, when I was 16, I was done. I wasn't thinking about church.
Really?
I wasn't thinking about church at all. No more.
16 to 20?
16
or just
to
all the way till you found the word?
16 to 37.
So you
but I knew there was a God, you know what I'm saying?
Right. But you just fed it with church.
Yeah, I dibbled and dabbled in 5%ers. I dibbled and dabbled in Muslims. I dabbled in a lot of different things. Not a lot of different things, but
just kind of
different.
searching.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just searching.
What made you try Islam out? Because I didn't actually do a shaka or join and none of that. But I was heavily interested because of my uncle in Farrakhan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what was your taste of Islam?
Farrakhan.
Oh, really?
And then, it was a big, heavy movement in Cincinnati. Like in the 90s. It was a real big, heavy movement. You know what I'm saying? And I sat back and I liked the brotherhood. I liked how they came together and, as black men and, just trying to better the community and stuff like that.
Right.
That got me. You know what I'm saying? But before then, let me rewind a little bit. I had some friends from New York and they were 5%ers and they had moved to Cincinnati. So I started dibbling and dabbling in that, you know what I'm saying? And then that led me to go to listen to Farrakhan because one guy always had Farrakhan tapes, so I listened to him. And back then he was still talking about the Bible more than talking about the Quran, so it kind of got me that way. And then,
okay.
It kind of got me that way because he was talking about the Bible, but he was calling Allah, so hey, let me roll with Allah for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what he talking about.
You wrote without lie?
I mean,
but I'm saying,
I said, let me just see.
Right,
Let me see what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? But I started looking at certain things of that, and I was like, nah, that didn't hit me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel that.
Right.
I did it maybe a couple months, 6 months, maybe. I ain't feel that, so I go over here and do this. Some Jehovah Witness people came to the house, and I started doing that. That don't hit me. I don't feel that either.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
So wait a minute. So you at a young age doing this?
Yeah, by this time I'm in my like mid-20s. I'm at like 25. Really? Yeah.
So when you say you feared God, you knew it was God. This is why you were entertaining those,
right?
Because it's almost like you was still searching in a sense,
right?
Wow, that's amazing. Because usually that's how the journey goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I've always been like a so-called conscious person. Like even back in the day, I listened to more rappers like KRS-One,
right?
Or, you know what I'm saying? I was always this Poor Righteous Teachers. I was always listening to, something that made some kind of sense. You know what I'm saying? Not just I'm gonna shoot you in the head and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was always listening to more of that kind of music. You know what I'm saying? So
it's funny you say that because that's what we had back then. You know what I'm saying? And to see where it's at today, you can clearly see that it's a plot to destroy, and I know the black family, but really the black man.
Correct.
Because more so than anybody that's having a very negative side effect from the music industry is us. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of that, you got the abortion and all that type of stuff. That's just like what we was looking at earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy's a preacher, but yet still you preaching, but you pushing abortion, which is tearing us up in that aspect. But we came up in a time where, we had hip hop was fun.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And then you had your KRS-Ones, the Poor Righteous Preacher, you know what I'm saying? You had different things that were pretty good, even with some of the Outcasts and the Goody Mob and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially Goody Mob.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They and that kind of you aspired to be like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily be a rapper, but I'm saying.
It was a positive. It was some kind of message to.
Yeah.
To get you going in the right way. You know what I'm saying?
You felt like you was somebody if you knew what they were talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nowadays, man, it's just it's kind of all over the place. It's kind of all over.
All over.
Right. So now going through that, going through those different religions, right? What was the end result before coming into the truth, though? I mean, we'll get there, but what was the end result? Like, did you stop at Seventh-day Adventist?
No, I didn't. I never did Seventh-day Adventist.
I mean, Jehovah Witness. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Jehovah Witness was my last one. That was the last. That was it.
What was intriguing about you even trying it? Just trying to.
Yeah, it was nothing like that. It was just they came to the door.
It could have been a Mormon.
Nah, I really didn't deal with them.
I'm saying, could they have came to the door?
Nah. They came to the door before, but it ain't been funny. It was just some white guys coming to the door. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't trying to. Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Conscious, man. I got it. I'm conscious. I'm trying to. I feel that. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But they came and they always come to the house every Saturday morning or something.
Right.
And so I just let me see what's up with that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I did actually. When I moved here, they came to the door, and I started doing it again. You know what I'm saying? Trying to do it again. I did it for maybe about 3 months then, and I stopped that too.
What was the gap? What was the gap between there and here?
What was the gap?
Yeah, the time frame.
I left Cincinnati in 07, and I moved to Florida, and I stayed there for 2 years. I moved here in 09.
When did they come? When did they approach you in Cincinnati?
Oh shoot, man, that was, like I said, 23, 24, 25, somewhere in there. When I was doing that.
And you left it alone, and then later on down the line, you decided to try it
again. Let me see what they talk about now.
Maybe they changed.
Maybe.
You realize 3 months. That's true.
Yeah, it's still the same. Nah, man, I'm good.
So did it cause you to kind of like just put religion down all together for some time? Not God himself.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying, like, I ain't dealing with none of that.
Yeah. Like I said, it's from 16 to my late 30s. I wasn't really, I was, like I said, bouncing around, trying to find something, but then I just kind of left it alone, and just I know it's a God. Watch out for me, look out for me, make sure I ain't hurt. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hurt nobody, so don't let nobody hurt me.
Right.
That kind of thing.
So what was your mom doing all this time?
In Cincinnati.
I'm saying, like, was she like in your ear, or she just kind of let you?
Nah, she let me go. She let me go.
Did she know it's kind of fake too?
Yep. Yeah, we can get it. Yeah, we can get it. We don't worry about that part of the story.
Okay.
No, I ain't telling you how to do it, but yes.
No. I want to know, but I'm gonna get to it.
Yes.
But okay.
Yes.
So, well, I guess, what kind of brought you? What kind of pulled you out of that slump then?
As far as finding the truth, or
like what was it if you tried those different things, none of them worked? I guess there has to be a time frame where you just kind of stagnant, right? Or just feel like you just in the wind.
Yeah, I'm just out here. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what was it? You know what I'm saying? What was it that made you really, start I guess back on the spiritual journey?
Okay. Great question. I love answering a question like this. I was working at a place in Durville in 2009. And this guy worked there. And from the time I came in, he was an older guy. From the time I came in, he was always cool with me. He'd always talk to me every time I come in. He had a good little spirit about him. It's always cool. And the more I came in and sat down in the break room before I started working, he would be not arguing, but he would be debating with 3 other guys. 2 of them were preachers, and 1 was a deacon, Sunday preachers. And he would always be standing up, and they would be standing around him, and they'd always be talking. But he would always have a Bible in his hand. And his fingers would be like this, because he got different pages. He holding the Bible with his fingers all over the place. And he
bookmarking.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
And every time they say something, they would just be talking. And he would be like, and I used to sit in the corner, and I used to just look at him.
Now, how old were you at this time?
This was, I was in my 40s,
Oh, okay.
I was here, living here.
Oh, so this is a time frame. This is like 15-year span almost.
Right.
Wow.
I was here. So I'm sitting here looking at this dude, and he talking, but he reading, and his stuff is making sense. Even if it wasn't making sense, it made sense to me because he was reading it.
Right.
And they was talking. They could have been talking about anything, but he was actually reading, and they was talking. But it just so happened to be about the Bible. So I sat and I kept looking at him, and every day I came in, I used to sit there and look at it, and I started really listening. I said, okay, he make more sense than these guys, because they just be talking and they ain't really saying too much of nothing. So he always would pull me to the side. Hey, young blood, what you think about this? He asked me certain questions about the Bible. Because I told him my little background about my mother being heavy in the church, and I grew up in the church and all of this and that. So he would ask me questions. I'll be dead wrong about all my questions about the Bible, because I didn't know nothing. But he never shot me down. He never corrected me right then.
Right.
He just say, You know what I'm saying? Just like you doing right now.
Very
just
smart.
like that.
Wow.
And then he'd come back around to me like, man, I said, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, I ain't never know that. He hit me one time like, how many animals on the ark? Oh man, 2. 2, bruh. 2, bruh.
I know I
got him now, 2, bruh. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, read this, man. Read Genesis 7. Read that 1 and 2. Verse 1 and 2. I said, man, I ain't never known that. It was like, wow. That shocked me. So, long story short, for 3 years done went by. He done asked me to go to church, asked me to come to class. He done asked me over and over and over and over for 3 years. I never would go. He said, "Hey man, it's been 3 years, bro. And you said you was gonna come to church with me, man."
Wow.
I said, "You know what? You're right. I'm coming. When is it?" I think he's gonna say Sunday, right?
Right.
When is it? I'm already knowing he's gonna say Sunday. He's like, "Oh, it's Saturday." That was like a Wednesday or a Thursday when he came at me like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, it's Saturday at 12. Oh, at 1. It's Saturday at 1. I was like, "Oh man.
Mm.
Oh, I got something lined up to do." But I'd already gave my word, so I was like, "I'll be there."
Mm.
I said, "I'll be there. Where it's at?" I said, "Okay, I'll get it to you. I'll get it to you Friday. I'll give you the information Friday, this, that, and other." Gave me the information, went on over to class, went over to IOG,
Mm-hmm.
and I sat down. It was Black History Month.
Oh my God. No, it wasn't. Oh, you ain't going
It
nowhere. You
was
stuck.
Black History Month.
Dang.
When I
What?
sat down, first week of February, I sat down and listened to what Bowie was saying and reading it, and I'm scratching my head. And I get out of class, I get to the car, I call my mother. "Man, these people just said XYZ, blah, 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 blah." She said, "Yeah, that's right." I said, "Okay." So I went back the next week. Slavery. It was over with. I was hooked then. I was hooked. So
Oh,
I
you
said,
saw that dude running.
yeah. I said, "Mom." She was like, "Yeah, that's right." Long story short, I went back 9 straight weeks. Every single Saturday.
Whoa.
9 straight weeks. I think he did the whole series.
Yeah.
And then Andrew did his. And then one of those classes, maybe the 7th class or something like that, was a dietary law.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 9th class was a Sabbath day.
Mm.
Now I'm calling my mother every single time. I'm not even getting to the street. I'm calling her in the parking lot.
Mm.
Like, these people just said this. These people just said that. And she kept saying, "Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right." So when I get to the 9th class, which was a Sabbath day, you know, I jumped out that place, jumped in that car. "Man, these people just said," and they just read all this stuff that the Sabbath day is on the Saturday, which is today, not Sunday. And she said, "Yeah, that's right." I said, "Mom," I said, "wait a minute." I said, "Well, you've been going to church. You've been having me go to church on Sunday." And she said, "Well, baby." And when she said that, I was crushed. She said, "Well, baby, that's just the way I was brought up." She's like, "I know the Sabbath day on a Saturday." I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Oh no." Like, Mom. Well, you're gonna have to change.
Right. You're gonna have to change.
You're gonna have to change. Lo and behold, I went up there and got her. She moved and lived with me for a couple of years before she moved to Florida. And she told me she learned more in 1 year living with me than she learned her whole entire life with the Bible.
Amazing.
One year living with me,
Amazing.
she learned more in 1 year than she's learned her whole entire life.
Let me backtrack right quick. How you end up coming to Atlanta from Cincinnati?
I moved to Florida. I moved to West Palm.
Uh-huh. Was it job related? What brought you out of Cincinnati? If it's personal,
It's just time for me to go.
Job.
No, it wasn't job. It was just time. It was, like I said, I was in the streets.
Oh, okay.
So it was just time for me to
Time to
go.
get up out
Yeah,
of
it was
there.
getting a little too
So you
warm.
got moms
Yeah.
down. You got moms down to Atlanta.
Yeah. So I moved to Florida. I stayed there for 2 years, and
Uh-huh.
I said, I need to be a little bit closer. It was too hot. It was just
What
cost
part
too
you
much.
went to?
I was at West Palm. In West Palm.
Oh, yeah,
I was
super
at the
hot.
bottom pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, nah, I can't. I got
It's too hot down there.
Yeah, man.
Ain't nothing to do.
No.
Nothing to do. So
But
you
that
got-
was the best thing that ever happened to me, though.
getting you up out of there.
That was the best thing that happened for me to go to Florida,
Uh-huh.
because I had to sit down.
Mm.
If I would have left Cincinnati and came here first,
Uh-huh.
it wouldn't have been too good for me, I believe. So
Right.
the best thing that, when you sit back and you look how God worked,
Mm-hmm.
He moved me to be where I am right now.
Right.
And as I sit back and look at it, I have no choice but to say that's how it happened.
Right.
Because
You can see it.
Right.
Hindsight is 20/20.
I went down there and I stayed for 2 years. It took me 2 weeks to get there, and it took me 2 years to leave. It took me 2 years to leave.
Wow.
And I had to sit there and just go to work and sit there.
Were you going down there to stay, or you?
Yeah, I was going. I went down there to move.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
And then you
it
came
wasn't
to
fun.
Atlanta.
Yeah. So when I came here,
Mm-hmm.
got maybe 2-3 jobs, just piddled around, and then I found that job
Mm-hmm.
where the guy was.
Right.
And then
Right.
the rest is history.
So what was the relationship at the job? Going back to the job after visiting LG.
Oh, it was it was me and him against the world.
Oh, really? Really?
It was me and him against the world.
So now, how old was this guy?
He about 75 now.
Oh, he
about
is?
75, 76.
So he saw you sitting there, just kind of like watching him the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess he said, I got him,
Wow.
and I'm glad he did.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm glad
man.
he did.
That's
I'm
amazing.
glad he did.
Man. Well, when you come into the Word, there's a lot of different things that come up. A lot of stuff you got to change.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, dealing with the Sabbath. That's the first one. You know what I'm saying? Family, giving up tradition. But you were kind of like, I guess, a renegade in a sense anyway, right?
Right.
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So you probably didn't have to deal with too much, right?
Nah, to be honest with you, nah.
Right.
No, I didn't. I wasn't worried about. I didn't do Christmas or Easter, none of that. I didn't do none of that. My kids never done that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really that big of an issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Going on the Sabbath on the Saturday, that really wasn't a big issue for me.
How did they accept it at the job?
They didn't work on Saturdays.
Oh, they did?
They work Monday through Friday.
Oh, so you didn't have
yeah,
no
that's
excuse.
right. I got no problem.
Yeah, right. So you needed to
So
be
I
there
was
that
good.
Saturday.
Yeah, I was
Right.
good.
Oh, okay. That's what's up,
I
man.
was good. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it wasn't no big deal about that. You
Right.
know? Nothing. The dietary. I ate shrimp. That was the only thing
Mhm.
that I ate that I wasn't supposed to eat.
Right.
I didn't eat catfish. I didn't eat lobster. I didn't eat crabs. I didn't eat clams. I didn't eat none of that.
Mm-hmm.
I ate shrimp.
What was that? Was that a result of dealing with Islam somewhat?
Yes.
It was?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I will say that. I would say that. I would say yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because they kind of introduce it, you know what I'm saying? But they'll hold on to things like I was dealing with one Muslim, of course, he don't eat pork, but he turned around and tell me in the same conversation that we having, but camel is good. I need to try it. And I'm like, bruh, the same Leviticus 11, bro, you can't eat that. Like there's no description like it is for the cow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not a description like that where they gotta be cloven footed. No, it says it flat out.
Right.
The camel, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of deal with the dietary law somewhat, but they
pick and choose.
They pick and choose, man. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, especially a lot of us, man, kind of lean more toward Islam,
Right.
because of the discipline, and which I give them that. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
They
Me too.
discipline. You know what I'm saying? They dress the part, but the more and more you kind of see the intricacies of Islam, they crooked as hell, man. You know what I'm saying? There is no other way besides what we got, because everything they doing, they get it from us.
Us, right.
Which is why your boy was reading the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
All the time.
Farrakhan do the same thing.
All the time.
He know the Bible better than he know the Quran.
All the time.
Yeah, man.
All the time.
That's good though, because that's just kind of like like I was asking earlier. Do you think the church kind of helped you? So those different things, you put them all together, they kind of help.
Yeah.
Keep you in line.
Right. I can't knock my mother having me go to church.
Mhm.
In a sense, I'm glad she did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it kind of kept me.
Foundation.
Yeah, it kind of kept me not sheltered, but in a box a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, my mother was real heavy in the church, so I couldn't really be too wild.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know. So.
Well, you know, one thing I can say about that, man, is that even though they didn't really know what they was doing, it's just something about that fear of God that just kind of registered.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even though they know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't know, but we just knew that, when it's all said and done, man, it's a God somewhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I believe in him. I may not understand the Bible, but I know he exists. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that just kind of make me feel like Deuteronomy 7:6, man, for, when you talk about us being a special people, holy people,
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like we connected to that in one way, shape, or form,
Right.
whether we realize it or not.
Right.
So we're going to spend a lot of our days, when we don't have the truth, we're going to spend a lot of our days looking for
Searching.
him. Yeah, searching for him. Like, why I got this feeling in me, man?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Why is this? Why am I feeling like this? But these people lying. But you know what? I know it's a God, though.
Right. Right.
I know it's a God. So that being said, how did you feel? What did it do for you when you found out in the Bible that Israel was is all about us?
Like I had a purpose. Like I had a purpose. Like that actually is my history book. Like that actually is my history. Like these people are my family. Like this is my family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like even though we still the same today.
Yeah.
But these people are my family.
Right.
So that was a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great feeling.
Right.
And then you start reading the Bible and you figure out, we're not all that bright.
We ain't all that bright. We ain't all that bright.
We're not all that
but
bright.
it take a load off, man.
Yeah. Because like I say, everybody has their history book. And to me, my history book is the greatest book ever written.
Absolutely.
Like my family's history is the greatest book ever written. It's everywhere. It's everywhere on the earth. Everywhere on this whole entire planet.
I never thought about it like that.
My history book, my family's book is everywhere.
Unbelievable. I never thought about that. Like American history is in American history, right? German history is in Germany. With our book,
China, it's over there.
Right. That's a great point, man. I never thought about that.
Everywhere.
I never thought about that. All over the world, man.
All over the world.
Well, looking at the Bible, man, when you look at the Bible as, trying to read it, trying to get understanding on it, man, it can be, you can be deterred a lot, coming from the preachers and stuff like that, just trying to pick it up and read it, though. You know what I'm saying? But when the Lord opened up your eyes and you actually see who the Lord is, talking about, and you realize it's us, how did it help you comprehend it once you realized it was you? Like how? Because probably before that time, probably had no interest in it because you didn't know who it was.
Right.
But as far as the veil being lifted, how was it once you understood it was you?
Well, like I said, when I sat down at that first lesson at Colors, that did it because it opened up the doors to show me who is who in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew what a Gentile was. I knew what a Hamite was. And this person is saying that I'm not neither one of those. I am an Israelite.
Right.
So it opened it up to let me see, because I've read the Bible before.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like you said, no understanding. You know what I'm saying? So it made me see it totally different. I mean, just open, because I know who is who.
Right.
I can read Okay, this group of people don't like this group of people. This group of people don't like this group of people, but they both don't like this group of people, and I'm this group of people. You know what I'm saying? So like, oh, okay.
Wow.
And then once I started reading it again, I read it as a history book. You know, of course, you read the Bible as a so-called religious book.
Right.
But I read it as a history book.
Right.
That's what I try to tell people. Don't read it, if it makes sense, don't read it as a Bible. Read it as a history book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just read it because it's a history book. Now, when it says thou shalt not, that means don't do that.
Right, exactly.
And that's real simple, you know.
It's a history book.
Yeah.
Tell the past, present, and our future. But it also tells the history of us, you know, our forefathers. And it also calls how it's going to be an end for us. Yeah. Did you ever see yourself as a Hamite or African, like before you come into the word? Because you know how like some of us, we want to go back to the motherland and all this here. Remember back in the day, we would wear the medallions with the Africa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying?
Yeah. With yellow, green, and black in the middle. No, red, yellow, and green.
Red, black, and green.
It was black on the outside. It was red, yellow, and green.
Red, yellow
in the middle.
Yeah, kind of like supposed to go, but it was yellow.
Yeah.
And then
So did you ever kind of feel like we were disconnected from Africans anyway?
I felt that I was an African my teenage years and stuff, you know, because we from Africa and this, that, and the other. But as I got older in my 20s and I started dealing with Africans and I noticed the Africans didn't want to deal with us, then I really didn't, you know, man, I ain't African. You know what I'm saying?
What did you mean when you started dealing with Africans?
You know, as far as in my 20s, I'm dealing with people. I'm out in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, and I noticed that they don't even want to deal with us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I kind of distanced myself from them. You know what I mean? Like, nah.
Right.
You know, but come to find out,
we're not them anyway.
We're not them anyway.
Yeah.
So
and they know it.
They know, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Of course. I don't know, man. It was always a disconnect. I couldn't pinpoint it, but even when I was trying to tie myself back to Africa, it just didn't feel right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So later on down the line, you find out that we Israel, right? And you think about these statements that came out on movies, like for example, on Boys in the Hood. And remember, Trey as a kid was like, "I ain't no African. You an African booty scratcher." You know what I'm saying? But you know the hits like, "I ain't no African."
Right.
You know, he said it so adamant, and it kind of just seemed like a funny statement. But really, nah, we ain't no African.
Not at all.
We're not Africans, man.
Not at all.
You know, and I asked that because of, you know, like you said, you know, you find out going to the ILG doing Black History Month regarding color. You know what I'm saying? This people, that people, and these people coming together. All these nationalities come against this one
group of people.
This one group of people. That speckled bird. You know what I'm saying? But it's a blessing that the Lord allowed us to wake up to it. You know what I'm saying? Because without the Bible, we don't have no history.
Correct.
You know, and that's why it's mainly Black History Month is just what it is over here.
Yeah, the 28 days.
Yeah, but that's what you get. You getting what took place over here. You getting reruns of marches. Martin Luther King. That's all you getting. And we, you know, but if the Lord didn't leave that Bible, man, you know, we would absolutely be out of here, man, as a people, man, because they'll give us anything.
Right.
You know?
And nobody can take it away. Nobody can take it off the table.
Nope, I don't care how much they try to change it.
Nobody can take it off the
You
table.
can have an amplifier, you can have the ESJV, whatever you want to call it, ESV,
whatever, yeah.
indicator, it don't,
Whatever.
bro, you cannot get that Bible out of here, bro. That's how you know we serving the true and living God, man.
It's going to stay on the table.
On the table, man. On the table.
It's going to stay there.
So how has it impacted your life, man? Like since you came into the Word, you know?
My eyes are open. I see life for what it really is. I see why we're in the condition that we're in, of course. I see the plan to the end. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
and it's just so simple. Don't do this and do this, and you can get into the kingdom.
Easy.
It's whether you want to do it or not.
Mm.
That's all it just boils down to, whether you want to do it. It's all about you. You can make it hard if you want. You're gonna pay though.
Right.
You're gonna pay.
Yeah, definitely gonna pay.
It's just simple.
Right.
Now I'm not trying to make it seem like it's just a cakewalk, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody have their own internal problems and things that they have to deal with to clean themselves up. You know what I'm saying? But just do the best you can. You know what I'm saying? Just keep fighting. Just keep fighting.
Yeah, that's it, man. You're right about that, but you know, just thinking about what you just said, man, it really is that easy though. like you say, the whole duty of man, you know, fear God and keep the commandments. Like, that's easy, man. You know what I'm saying? And it just boils down to, like, do you want to be obedient?
Right.
Not really worrying. We ain't talking about the trials and tribulations, because that shouldn't wait on what the Lord said anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we call ourselves Christians and believing in God, okay, well, he said, keep the commandments. Do what he said. Hey, what happened with your mom? Did she
Actually, my mother's coming back up here on the 6th. She's coming back to live with me on the 6th.
Is that right?
Yeah. Actually,
wow, so she coming right back to the word.
Yeah.
Praise God. Has she been able to kind of indulge in it down in Florida?
No, she has dementia, so she's kind of in a situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is your mother?
83.
Oh, 83. Oh, so you was a baby for real.
Yeah.
Okay. You was a baby.
Yeah, I was a baby.
I got you. Well, you know the Bible, man. The Lord loves when we require our parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, take care of them, and you know, especially when they done gave us their all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's your opportunity, man, to do that, because the Lord appreciates that. You know what I'm saying? So hey, man, definitely. You know, I'm trying to find the words for when you know, appreciate what somebody's doing. I can't think what it's called.
I understand. I'm just doing the best. I'm just doing what's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
man.
all. I'm just doing what's right.
Absolutely,
That's my
man.
mother. That's the only one I got.
Yeah,
so,
keep that up,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? I gotta take care of my mother.
83 though, man.
She was here, like I said. She was here. She stayed with me for like 2-3 years, and then she moved down to Florida with her sister. And now it's time for her to come back. That's all. It's time for her to come back.
Well, that's what's up, man. Well,
It's
praise
time
God,
for her to come
man.
back.
Hey, man, get to take care of, man. You know what I'm saying?
Try, man.
Then she probably gonna have peace and hearing the word and all that type of stuff, man. So that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice, man, for new people coming into the word? You know what I'm saying? And then not only new people coming into the word, but what about those people who do not have access to fellowship? How would you tell people to deal with that? You know what I'm saying? First and foremost, you know, your advice on new people dealing with the word in general, but and that covers everybody. You know, convocation or no place to convocate. And then on top of that, for those that may be away from places, you know, don't have nobody, kind of feel like they're on the island by themselves, you know, on the Sabbath, because you know on the Sabbath, man, that's like a recharge, and then you come in and fellowship with people, you know, to kind of see like-minded faces and stuff like that kind of help, you know, push you along in the walk.
Right.
You know?
What I would say on that is, keep it simple. Learn the basics. When I say that, I mean it in the sense of learn the commandments. Keep that as your focus. Conquer that. Don't try to go out here and in 2 months you want to be a teacher. Don't think you know everything. Sit down and learn. Just learn. That's the best thing I can say. Don't try to overload yourself. I know it's hard, because I did it. I'm only speaking from experience. I know it's hard because you find out you're an Israelite and you find out this, and you just want to keep going and you want to keep running. But sometimes you have to crawl before you walk. You know what I'm saying? And get the basics down. learn how to pull your fork off of that pork. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Just learn the commandments, because you can know everything that Paul had to say. You can know everything that Mark had to say. You can know everything Ezekiel had to say. But at the end of the day, that's not going to get you into the kingdom. Keep the commandments. Learn the feast days. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Learn to do what is going to get you in the kingdom first, and then add on from there.
Right.
Don't just go out here, because I know people that they gung-ho, but they don't want to keep the feast days.
Wow.
You know, so just keep it.
Wow.
Do what's going to get you, learn what's going to get you in the kingdom first, and then learn everything else. Don't worry about if the world is flat or round. Don't worry about that.
Right.
That's not going to get you in the kingdom.
Right. That's
You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about that. That's not going to get you there. Worry about what's going to get you in the kingdom first, and then just take little steps out.
Simplicity.
Simplicity in Christ.
That's amazing you say that. Just kind of like, I was thinking about that, and you said it. Don't try to eat. Don't try to eat. Well, we're not. It's just for those who may watch the video. We're not talking about pork, but we'll just say lamb. Okay, don't try to eat the lamb or the beef.
Yeah, I know.
You got the
gotta be
out
specific
there.
about what you say.
They're gonna be all in the comments.
Oh, he talking
we don't
about
eat pork. We're not but he said not even spiritual. Look, well, the point is, stay off of the meat when you
can handle it.
Handle the commandments, because it be good, man. People be good with keeping the Sabbath, bruh. That's easy. To go to the job and be like, and they be like, okay, yeah, we'll work with that. Matter of fact, the jobs nowadays are even saying stuff like, oh, we understand that because so and so got to have a Sabbath off too. But it's them feast days, bruh. Them feast days, man, because the feast days come any day.
Yeah, right. You don't know when that is. I mean, you know when it is once you see the calendar.
Yeah, the calendar, but you don't know if it's gonna fall. It ain't gonna fall on a Saturday like the weekly Sabbath does.
Right.
So that right there that's gonna be trying. But like you say, man, just you gotta find out what you gotta do to get salvation, and that's a part of it. That's a major part of it, man. Like, serving our God the way our God tells us to serve him, when he tells us to serve him. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And so I think that's very key, man, because that right there, man, the simple things is what's gonna get a lot of people in the lake of fire.
Right. You just said what I was trying to say. You just said it. The simple things is what's going to get you thrown in that fire.
Yeah.
Something simple.
Something
man.
Simple. Like you said, that you can know Daniel, you can know all that. Yeah, that's just, it's good, but that's add on. Right. That's like the that's the
bonus.
Yeah, the bonus, man. Like that's you got your main course, right? Your main course is what you eating almost on a consistent basis. Is these commandments. That's your main course. You eating this all the time. But if we want to bring some Daniel onto it, though, so we're gonna add a little more size to it. We're gonna bring the Daniel, we're gonna bring the Isaiah, we're gonna bring the Revelation. But at the main point is get that main course, man, and that's be obedient to those commandments.
That's it.
So that's a great point.
You said it.
No, you said it. I just added on to it because that's a great point, man. Because so many people miss that, man. And I know you've been in the Word for a minute, and you can see it. You can see it, man. They come in, they be so happy, man. People be like, I'm this, I'm good, And next thing you know, man, when it comes to the feast days, you don't see them. They're at work. And it's like, man, what are you doing, bro? You might as well work on Saturday then.
Right. You might as well eat some pork. You might as well go keep stealing.
You might as well do some pork on your fork.
Yeah, because it's all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the same.
That's right, man.
Absolutely. Thou shalt not means thou shalt not.
Right. No interpretation needed.
And you don't need no other book to tell you. We as humans know what thou shalt not mean. You don't need the Americanized version or the canonized version or whatever, the Germanized version, you know what thou shalt not means, man.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
Exactly. I need Aramaic.
Yeah, come on, man. You know what it means, man.
You just trying to finagle. That's what
all.
it is.
That's it.
Yeah,
Thou shalt not.
exactly.
You know that means don't do something.
Right.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
But that's a great point, man. That's the first time I heard that. You know what I'm saying? I heard different answers, but you know, just to bring it home like that, man, that's very key, man. You know, because you're gonna deal with stuff, of course. You know, but just keep them commandments.
That's it.
You know, and we ain't saying you ain't got to work on the fruits of the spirit. You know,
correct.
You definitely got to work on
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
For y'all to start texting Nate saying all kind of stuff. No, we're not saying that.
Right.
Just keep the commandments first. Just
right.
learn that first.
Absolutely.
Then you can venture on out.
That's right. That's right. Well, with so many different religions floating around, what do you think, what impact do you think a better understanding of the Bible would have on people around the world?
Say that one more time.
With so many different religions floating around the world, what impact do you think a better understanding of the Bible would have on people around the world?
It would have a tremendous impact if it was taught right. It would have a tremendous impact if it was just allowed to be taught right. If these Sunday preachers would do what they need to do, if we would do what we need to do. Let me not say that. Let me say us as Israelites. If we do what we need to do, everything will go back on course. Everything will get back in line. That's the reason why we're in the situation we're in now.
Right.
Because we knocked it out of line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if it was taught right, with it being so simple to me, if it was just taught right, the whole world would be in a better situation.
Right.
We, of course, would be in a better situation. You know what I'm saying? If it was just taught right, if it was allowed to be taught right. But of course, we know that can't happen yet.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah. Because it's coming.
But it will.
It's coming.
Yeah. It will.
Yeah. And Lord willing, we'll be able to see that world. You know what I'm saying? So we coming up on the last question, and I think we right at an hour.
Okay.
So, which is what I try to get them at, hour 30 minutes sometimes. Hour 30 minutes, them be the long ones. But I try to keep them around an hour, you know what I'm saying? So people get a chance to know, you know what I'm saying, the guests. You know what I'm saying? Get the type of feel for you. Be like, oh, okay, when they see you and stuff.
Right.
Man, hello, Judah, man, good brother, you know what I'm saying?
I hope so.
Absolutely, man. I mean, because it's a big family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we just got so many stories, man. And these right here to kind of help people, you know, who just kind of feel like they out there on their own.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Kind of feel like they're on their own, man, because, you know, things are starting to shift toward us. You know, like it said in the Bible, how I talk about the first gonna be last, last gonna be first. You know, things starting to shift, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you heard about, you know, Takeoff getting killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but look at the world. The world is crumbling, man. I mean, it's almost every week somebody dying, you know, in the industry. And death is happening every day. But mainstream, big people dying all over the place because they're living in the world, man, you know, and death is what it is. But death is so much better when you know that I'm only sleeping.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And people gonna eventually get tired of the lies, tired of the what ifs and you know, no answers and stuff like that. And they're gonna start coming to the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? So coming from a time where we've been ridiculed and stuff like that and talked about and laughed at and stuff, man, you know, now it's starting to, you know, shine a light on us and like,
light.
I mean, even with the Kyrie Irving situation, the Kanye West situation, man, that's nothing compared to what's about to come.
Right.
You know, because you can't stop this. You can't stop this, man. You know, but as people come in, they'll see like, oh man, it's a family, it's a church, man. Like they really are serving God, man. You know, they do smile. they do keep themselves up. They don't curse everybody out. Oh, they can sit down and have a conversation.
Right,
you feel what I'm saying? They do
right.
believe in Jesus. Oh,
Right.
I need to check them out.
Right,
You feel what I'm saying?
right.
And that's what this is all about, man. So I definitely want to thank you, man, for taking the time, first and foremost, to come out.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? And giving us your story, man. But I always ask this question at the end. And if you've been watching it, you probably already prepared. But I like to give people, I'm gonna start giving people a time frame. 1 minute. And that's long. What's your favorite book and your scripture? And tell us why.
My favorite
Book in the Bible.
Book
In the Bible.
My favorite book and the scripture out of that book?
No.
Oh, okay.
This your favorite book in the Bible. and your
I
favorite
can
scripture.
do you one little better than that. My favorite book is Proverbs.
Uh-huh.
My favorite chapter is Psalms 51. My favorite verse is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13.
Wow, praise the Lord. Psalm 51, is that blessed those whose iniquities are
Yes,
sins are not covered?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes,
Whoa,
yes.
whoa.
favorite.
You got it on this one. You took the cake, man.
Oh, well.
You been watching this?
Nah, I seen it before,
Did
but
you see the end?
yeah, I know you was gonna ask
Oh,
my favorite.
Okay.
But hey,
Okay.
I didn't know about the other two. Now, you hit me with something new on that one. Now.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about that, but my favorite, like I say, my book is Proverbs, and I was reading Proverbs when I was, 12. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My mother instilled Proverbs 3 and 5 in me as a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that Proverbs stuck with you.
Wow. That stuck with me.
That's what's up, man. Hey, well, ain't nothing better than that wisdom of Solomon, boy, because you talking about the issues of life. The Lord definitely like put it on King Solomon. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
And you can see whatever you're going through, boy, the book of Proverbs, man.
Right, and I didn't know anything about the Bible. I'm talking about 12 years old.
Right.
But I knew this makes sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
I understand it, and I don't understand nothing else.
Right.
I understood that.
Right. Yeah, it's simple, man. Simple. Life things, man.
Yeah.
That's that stuff that keep you attached to the Bible.
Right.
Even though you can't understand everything else.
Right.
It's
Right.
like you said, as far as the encouragement for those that are new to the word, man, just keep commandments.
Yeah,
A proverb gonna tell you, hey man, stay right here, man. Don't go messing with another woman. Don't do none of that. Just stay right.
Keep it simple.
Hey, my
You know what I'm
son,
saying?
listen, my son. but it's like a conundrum. You know what I'm saying? It's double meaning to it. You know what I'm saying? So
Trust me, I understand.
Yes, sir.
Mine is only a fool who despise knowledge.
yeah.
I don't never want to be a fool.
Right, that's
I've
right.
been there
right.
plenty of days in my life.
Right. Don't feel good either.
It don't. It don't.
Don't feel good. But man, I like to thank you, man.
Man, I appreciate it.
Hopefully in the future, man, we can revisit, come back in, we'll check up, man, see how everything's going, man. Bless the people once again, man. Thank you for your time, man.
I appreciate it,
Yes,
bro.
sir, man. For sure, bro.
All right.